teaching entrepreneurship for about probably 10 years, maybe longer than that. Before that, I owned my own businesses. So I've been teaching at the college level. I'm at the point now where I don't use textbooks. I think they're boring. I think they're expensive. I think that students don't read them. So why should we all go through the drill? But I like to make them read. I think reading is really important, but they have to find things outside. So I love the teaching entrepreneurship curriculum because it has that background reading information, easily accessible, easily assignable. But I love the experiential part of it. So about 5 years ago, I went and got trained on the Steve Blank curriculum, and I have been using that for the last 5 years. I teach a class called Exploring Entrepreneurial Opportunities. It's been a great class. It's a combination class. We have engineers and we have business students, and I have an English major this semester. I'm not sure what that's about, but it's a really good interdisciplinary class. So the teaching entrepreneurship curriculum kind of speaks to all those levels. The problems that I had with the Steve Blank type of curriculum, it was a great curriculum, but it's a different level of student or a different type of student, maybe a different motivated student. Our students, we're in rural Colorado. Our students all work 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 jobs. They don't really have the time to do a lot of things outside. So this class where they have to go out and interview people is difficult. They think it's, I'm just going to go interview people. Well, after 5 years of doing it, I knew they were lying. Most of the time they'd say they had 10 interviews, and I know they didn't have 10 interviews, and I know they made up the names. Now, sometimes they'd get on a binge and they'd get some interviews, but not usual. So after a while, they weren't doing them. We were just doing a little fantasy class, and it got old. So the teaching entrepreneurship curriculum has been great that it walks them through doing the interviews, and they really get deeper interviews. And it's a hard thing for a student to do. In fact, I tell them if they learn this one skill of just talking to someone, they'll be a better employee. They don't need to be an entrepreneur, but they'll be a fantastic employee because they can talk to their customers, especially the engineers. If they can talk to customers, man, they'll be great. So I really try to emphasize how important this is. So the interviews are great. I think the other things that we do are really great in terms of building the website, trying to drive traffic to it. I mean, it just gives them some skills and gives them a different perspective and way of looking at things. So not all my students are starting businesses. Most of them are just taking this class because it's on their curriculum. We have an entrepreneurship certificate. So they're checking the box. And when they're checking the box, it gets really old if they're not motivated. So this type of class is different because it's experiential. I think once they get into it, they start to really like it. And with the type of interviews we've been doing with the problem solving, instead of just coming up with a product, we're getting some interesting products. Most of them have been a little bit deeper, a little bit unusual, things that they wouldn't have come up with on their own, but they're solving problems. And that's a really good perspective for them to learn. So all in all, the curriculum has been fantastic change. Gives me a different way of looking at things. It makes it easy for students to do things in groups and kind of delegate who's doing what. So it's been a really good curriculum. I love the new platform for the teachers, so you can see the whole class as a whole and dive deeper into each section of it. So that has been a really nice addition and made the whole teaching of this class easy. I love the plug and play with that you give us the PowerPoints, we can edit them, you give us the exercise, and this is exactly what you do. You tell us exactly what we need to do before class, what the students are going to do after class. It's really a nicely made thing. And I think it's the future. This is how textbooks are going to be because they're easily updatable. Like I said before, I don't think textbooks are the wave of the future because students aren't reading them. The information is old once it gets in there. And the only way they learn is by doing. So this whole curriculum gives them the background knowledge, but also allows them to learn by doing.